Ooh, welcome into the Dynasty Deal Show, everyone. My name is Ty at Ty Declare 44. I'm joined by Scott at Charles Chill FFB and Shane at Shane Says FF. And you're here for the first members-only inaugural live edition of the show. Shouts out to everyone in the chat that's already here. Guys, we are going to talk everyone's trades. It's going to be rapid fire, no faff. No, we're not going to go on some long tangent, some big old theory talk. Okay, we're going to get to it. We're going to hit the trades. We're going to hit them and get out of here. I got one rule. If you hear this noise, that means wrap it up. We're moving on to the next one. All right. So let's just roll right into this thing. And I'm Scott. I'm starting with you. So we got Bartolo Spastic Colon, 12 team, 1 quarterback, 0.5 PPR. It's a no tight end premium and it's a start 9. Are you giving Sam Laporta and a 26 second, probably mid to late, and you're getting Kittle and a 26 first, which is probably late? Strong contender, worth giving up your youth. They already have Ingram and Terrence Ferguson on their roster. Scott, Kittle and a first, Laporta and a second. What matters more, the elite tight end or the better pick?
Well, first off, it's Bartolo's Spastic Cologne tie. This is a famous baseball player that if you know, you know.
I just didn't
literally
want to say
a living
colon.
legend. Okay. Just wanted to make sure because I love this name. Thank you for being a member, but I absolutely love the username. And the first question, I mean, come on, it's a non-tight end premium league. It is a 1 QB half PPR. We are getting maybe a hot take. We are getting the better tight end here, I think, for a short-term window. I do not care about the fact that Sam Laporta is 25. He could be 25. He could be 30. It doesn't matter. I'd rather have the 1 or 2 year window, maybe longer. We think Kittle's going to expire. How do we know he can't play till he's 35? And you're getting a first. The only downside I would have to this would be we already have Evan Ingram in this format. Do we actually need to count Kittle coming back in the trade, or can we just get a first and, I don't know, something else that's useful, maybe another running back or something like that? But I don't mind getting the hammer tight end and Kittle. And now you can probably go try to move like T. Ferg for a third or something like that and get your roster construction right. But yeah, love the trade. Getting a free first on this. Crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of what hit me too. It's like, okay, like you don't really need to get a tight end back in the deal, but if I'm going to get one back, I might as well get one that's probably going to outscore Laporta anyways. Shane, did that strike you any differently when you read this one through?
No, that's just a stupid trade. Like, there's absolutely no sensible sense behind the other side of this deal. Like, yeah, I'm giving up the least scoring tight end, and I'm giving up the better pick. So, sure. Wait, the other way around. I'm giving up the higher scoring tight end, and I'm giving up the better pick. So, there's absolutely no idea. If someone were to send that, if that trade went through and I saw it in the chat, I would literally send the message like, wait, is there a Devy player involved? And they'd be like, no, it's not a Devy league, but I would still ask.
Right. Yeah. Worth giving up the youth. Like, does that give you any pause of like when you're moving away from like, yeah, you're getting the better pick, you're getting the Kittle, but is there any pause trading away the youth in Dynasty at this point for you?
No, because look, no one's holding on to players for 6 years. None of us. We're all old enough to have been in leagues for 5-6 years, right? Half the players on my roster I didn't have 12 months ago, let alone 24 months ago. 36 months ago, no, absolutely not. So we're not playing that long of a window. So just give me the better pick, give me the better tight end, age regardless of age.
Agreed.
I think, Ty, real quick on youth.
Mm-hmm.
Youth matters when it's attached to a player where the youth brings some sexiness to the asset. As soon as the asset is not flashy anymore, it feels like the new Dynasty player is like nobody cares if a receiver that is wide receiver 50 versus 60. Nobody cares about their age, right? It is what can you do for my roster right now? How bad do people want this specific player? Nobody is like, oh, I would rather have, I'll give an example, like a Rashad Bateman type, him or Cooper Kupp. Like the debate is really who can do better today. Doesn't matter if one is 27 and one is 31. Nobody cares when you're at ranges that it doesn't matter. And you can argue in this case, like Laporta is kind of in a range that just doesn't matter much. So you're getting the upgrade and you don't care about the youth.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely love it. Shane, we got your co-host here, old Brandon in the house. Shouts out to the Saturday mailbag, keeping up for the people. Okay, next deal, we got Roy Gasson here. 12-team start 11 Superflex lineup, 0.75 tight end premium. No other quirks or bonuses, just this is it. We got Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels in cans. Nice way to start it off. Barkley, Monty, Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, running back, nice. Drake London, Cortland Sutton, Terry McLaurin, Tyreek Hill, Jordan Addison, Reed, Shakir. Got McBride and Ingram. 112, 2, 3, 3, 26 first. Shane, they had a clear need at running back. Would you do either of these deals? Kamara for the 2-3, Bucky for 226 first, or CMC for the 112? Trying to target guys at the bottom of the standings. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I'm doing CMC for 112. I'm happy to do that. I ain't sending 2 first for Bucky. How do you feel on any of these deals?
Oh, so this is buying, because the way he said it is backwards and confused me a little bit. Absolutely, there's no chance I'm giving you 2 first for Bucky unless one of them's a second rounder and the other one's also a second rounder. Not a chance. So Kamara for 203, I'd smash that. 112 to get CMC, also smashing that. So give me the old guys. I'd make both those deals. You know what I mean? If you're really hurting at running back, make them both. That's much more, what's the word I'm looking for, cost effective than giving up 2 first for Bucky Irving.
Yeah, definitely. And if that's the price for these veterans, like, yeah, sign me up. But Scott, I mean, you look at this team, right? Barkley, Monty, Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason. I guess if you had to say like one of those parts of the roster are the weak point, it could be the running back. But I guess, would you buy multiple running backs in this room, or are you fine just betting on one of them, or how would you approach deals like this?
Yeah, I mean, its team already has Allen and Jaden Daniels. So right there, I'm probably already buying at least a starter advantage with my quarterback room. And then I have Barkley, Monty, and then the Minnesota backfield already. Like, I'm looking at this as I have the 112, I have the 203. Man, can I somehow turn one of those into a future first and kick it to the even 2027? Now he's already got 326 first. So forget about the Bucky deal. That is the worst type of deal you could do, because you're already in the driver's seat with this team, right? It's a contender. You have dominant quarterbacks. You have enough at running back, and you have flexibility with picks. I might do one of those deals. I would kind of almost tell each manager, hey, I have 2 deals on the table. I'm taking the first one that I can get done, right? Maybe they're both in his inbox. Probably doing one, and then the other deal, I'd prefer actually the Kamara deal, because then I still have that 112. What else can I add to the 112? Can I add, I don't know, is this one where I can add like a Jaden Reed to the 112 or Shakir to the 112 and get a future first and second and just cash out? Like, I have enough starters. Can I turn this into even more flexibility? Then I go into the season with that team plus 326 first, plus 227 first. I have a lot of flexibility to fix holes that I don't even know I have right now. So just don't panic. You do not want to look at those first next year and go, man, I can get a really sexy running back asset, when the reality is you don't need one on this team.
I mean, and he's not, though. I mean, except for the Bucky deal. Like, that's why I'll take the CMC deal too. Like, that's as cheap as you're going to get CMC, short of him losing a toe to diabetes.
If you can't get a future first, I think that's the caveat. Like, because at the same time, you cannot spend the 112 later. Do you know what I mean? You can't say, well, I'm going to just wait till the season to spend it, because it's a pick you have to make now. That's why I would try to do what I can to turn that into something that's future value, not have to blow it on a running back today. Because all of a sudden, I mean, you look at his team. Let's say you add Kamara and McCaffrey. You're now deciding between one of Addison, Reed, Shakir, and Aaron Jones. You're flexing one of those 4.
Well, here's the thing, though. Aaron Jones is old and injury prone. And he's injured every season, literally every season. And I have absolutely no problem sitting Shakir every week for CMC if CMC's right.
But again, we have Josh Allen. Shakir is a useless asset if he's on my roster and I'm not starting him. So it's more of a theory. And Ty's shaking his head like, this team is very good. This is not the best team in the league by far where I have no holes, but it feels like I'm just buying to buy. And then I go to set this is what would happen for me on this team. I would get to July and I go, man, can I sell Aaron Jones? I don't want Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones, because I'm kind of betting against myself there, right? Can I sell Aaron Jones? Can I sell Khalil Shakir? And you know what you'd be looking for? An asset like the 112 or the 203
except that you've already made the 112 if you didn't move it.
Right. Yeah. That's why I'm trying to kick the 112 for a future first. Can I add a third to get somebody's 27 first and just kick the value to the future? I don't need it.
Yeah. What I don't want to do is blow capital. And then, like you said, Shane, or Scott, I have to choose between Reed, Shakir, like that back end flex spot. And I'm just making harder lineup decisions for myself week over week. I mean, even if you just want to spruce up one of the deals here, hell, get CMC and a second for 112 and Reed. Like, at least make a move maybe to clear out that spot for CMC if you want to get ahead of that. But I think the big takeaway is you don't got to make any of these deals because you have a good team. You already have the future flexibility. And if you can make moves to insulate that further, that's probably going to help you more than try to lock in a great lineup in June. But either way, Roy, a couple good deals there. If you can take one of them and build around it, I like it. Cool. Okay. Tanner Holdorf, 12 team, super flex, start 10, 1.5 tight end premium. It's a lineup league. We got Lamar. We got Drake May. We got Ashton Genty, Isaiah Pacheco, Aaron Jones again, and some backups. We got Brian Thomas Jr., Ladd McConkey, Garrett Wilson, Roman Wilson, Matthew Golden, Luther Burton.
No. Roma Dunze.
Oh, what did I say? Roman Wilson?
Yeah.
Oh, Romo Dunze. There we go. Definitely a different thing there. Cooper Kupp, Kyle Williams, and then Jake Ferguson at tight end. We have all our picks, an extra 26 third. Are you giving up Drake May and a 26 second? You get Hurts. So, Scott, quarterback war here. I mean, you got Lamar, you got May. Are you just adding that 26 second to get up to Hurts on a team like this?
Yeah, I think I'm doing that. And shout out to Tanner, who said 35% of the chance, or 35% chance of him making the semis. He must have watched Mannequin Show the other night where we talked about that, and even got some shit in the comments like, "Oh, that doesn't really matter." I don't know if you saw that comment, Shane, but somebody said it doesn't matter what your percentage of getting the semifinals is. I was like,
I did see that. Sometimes I don't think people understand what probability is. They really don't. They think possibility and probability are the same thing when they are absolutely not. Like, it's possible that one day I could bang Jessica Alba, right? Is it probable? Absolutely not. The probability of it is less than 0.1%. You know what I mean? So sure, you could make
probably too high.
It's much lower than that if we're being honest. But yeah, sure, you can make the playoffs. Anything can happen after that in theory. But anyway.
You said 12 by 10 here, Ty. I'm starting to just rip through the number of players like that are. We might have to come up with a couple new monikers. I kind of like that Shakir range, right? Where as soon as that type of player hits the roster and hits the question, I'm sitting here going, that probably on this team, BTJ, Ladd, G. Will, Roma Dunze probably is in your lineup to start. At least you're projecting him to be there. Everybody else kind of feels like I have 4 of what I hope is 1 or 2 guys that occupy that spot. So as you started going through, I'm like, man, we have some flexibility here to move Golden, Burden, Kyle Williams if we wanted to. That's all I'm really giving up here is the extra second on top of May. I can recoup a second for any of those guys, probably more for any of those guys right now to lock in Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson for the next 2 or 3 years. Yeah, I'm taking that. This is... I don't understand the May manager here. If I'm him, I'm at least trying to get May and Rome or May and a first for a Hurts and a second swap. Like, I don't understand accepting this deal unless you just hate Jalen Hurts.
You try to get May and Golden, accept May and Burden. Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. I know that Burden was just a second now. There's going to be weeks after you make this deal where Lamar and Jalen give you damn near 80 points in 1 week. Mm-hmm. And it literally will not matter what the rest of your team does. And it's not like those are going to be crazy weeks. You know what I mean? We've seen both these players put up 30 points and just average between the two of them. They've both had 25 point average seasons, points per game seasons. I'd smash this deal. Any way you want to look at it. Do I have enough assets to make this deal? Yeah, I have all these extra wide receivers. The hit rate for a second rounder, not good. Whichever way I want to look at it, whether I want to look at it from a production standpoint or an asset standpoint, I'm making this deal.
Yeah, especially if that's your 26 first you're sending away. I feel pretty good about that. And I mean, on a team like this where you got Brian Thomas Jr., Ladd McConkey, Garrett Wilson, Rome Odunze, those are the kind of teams that I love having, like the Goldens, the Burdens, the guys that I don't have to rely on production right away. You know, I can still make use of that cup. Fingers crossed Kyle Williams is something. But like I can use those guys, and then if they do pop, I can add that on to a Garrett Wilson, try to climb. If I want to get out on Romo Dunes, I can do something with that. So team like that, yeah, let's just try hammer hunting, consolidate where we can. Add a 26-second to May to get Hurts. I was gonna say, Shane, like, am I missing something on Hurts? Did like anything happen here where now he only has one arm or something? Because I don't get it.
Maybe dude went into a coma at the moment where it looked like the tush push was gonna be banned. Went into a coma immediately that second, because he listened to Diana Rossini's tweet, saw it and was like, oh, it's done, and then unfortunately went into a coma and then just woke up and didn't realize the ban did not pass.
Those comas will get you. Yeah, make sure you're getting good sleep, and yeah, if you have a coma, check out the Dynasty Deal Show before making any more deals. Okay, Mark, Oregon, with a great Kansas City Chiefs logo. Let's go. 10 team, 2 quarterback, start 10, 1.5 tight end premium. Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray. We got Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, and Cans, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Terry McLaurin, Steph Diggs, Kittle and McBride, Cans everywhere else. Look at these teams we're getting in the chat today, man. Are you giving up CeeDee Lamb and a third to get JMO 103 and 109? Or are you doing the same deal, but instead of JMO, doing it for Xavier Worthy? So, Scott, I'm going to start with you here because 10 team, 2 quarterback. We talk about 10 team leagues a bit here and how we like to play the quarterback a little bit differently. There's not as much scarcity, so I don't feel panicked on quarterback. Does that make you feel any differently about like the 103, 19? I guess I'm probably not this year, but in this deal, CD and a third, JMO 1319 or Worthy 1319.
No, I mean, I think a 10-team 2 QB, the scarcity is probably similar to what a 12-team Superflex is. I mean, there's going to be teams that want to hoard, and so you still have to pry them off of somebody else's roster, and it is start 2. So if you do the math, everybody wants to have 3. Right there, you're at 30, and there's not 30 desirable quarterbacks in Dynasty. There's 32 starters, and there's probably 40 to 45 quarterbacks right now that we're like could be starting week 1. But I like the quarterback room here, but it doesn't impact the value of the picks much unless you know there's going to be somebody that just has to get Cam Ward, because that's the one in this draft where you're like, you could justify taking him in the top 3. But I like the construction. I mean, Hurts, Kyler, Daniels. I'm good with that, right? Like, I don't need more rostered quarterbacks, but any of these combos I'm putting in, I have the best quarterback room that week. So, like, this is a perfect quarterback room. I wouldn't even roster a 4th, because if you're getting to your 4th, you probably already had too much attrition anyway. This is a tough one because I honestly think in this type of format, yeah, you're giving up CD, but man, if I could get Xavier Worthy back in that deal, and I have the 103, which is, it's probably Hampton, Henderson if I don't want a QB, and then 109, I bet you I could kick to a future first if there's still a player on the board that people like. I don't want to give up CeeDee Lamb here. I'm curious what Shane would say, because this is a stacked roster. You got Kittle and McBride. You're starting one of those, even though it's 1.5. You're starting one of those in the flex. And then, like, you're deciding between Diggs, McLaurin, and probably one of the guys you draft. Like, you got Gibbs and James. This is a stacked team. So I actually don't mind moving off of CeeDee Lamb here if I'm getting Worthy in the 2 picks, but I could go either way. Shane?
I mean, to me, it's really, this is kind of a preference deal because, yes, the value is right. Even in a 10 team, the value is right because you're getting that 103, right? So, yeah, if it's Worthy and Travis Hunter, but do I want to do that based on like what my team looks like right now? JJ is getting up there. He's 26. JT, Gibbs, every running back's a win now move, right? I have the opportunity to win now. So I could look at it that way and go, no, I'm just going to hold on the CD. But really adding Omarion Hampton, if you get Omarion Hampton and Xavier Worthy and still having the 109, that gives you so much to do. Like, you know what I mean? It gives you even more flexibility, considering that you also have a quarterback in Kyler who's going to be worth a lot more when the season starts. And people remember, oh, wait, this guy scores 20 points per game. I think I'm making the deal. And part of it is that I got G-Will already, right? I got him ready to slide up into the CD range, and he's not obviously CD. He's close enough. for me to make this deal. So yeah, I'll make it. It's a 10 by 10, man. Usually I just want the hammers, but yeah, I'll do this deal.
Yeah, it's more like I'm thinking like, how can I make another move off of this move? I'm thinking like if I got this deal with Worthy 1-3-1, and I guess just to put it out there, I would take Worthy over JMO. I don't know if any of you feel different on that.
Yeah, and I'm guessing he wants to because he does have the Chiefs avatar.
Yeah,
I'm curious, Mike. Could I line up 109, maybe Diggs, and something, and go get AJ Brown?
Yeah.
So then I have Daniels, McLaurin, Hurts, AJ Brown, Kyler, McBride, and then I'm filling out my lineup with Worthy, JJ, G. Will.
Yeah, and if you do that, guess what? You've already replaced CD. You've literally replaced point for point for CD, plus all the stuff you've gotten as part of the deal.
That's what I mean. Like, you probably have to go Diggs, the 109, and maybe a second or something. Like, you got to go pretty heavy on that initial offer for AJ Brown, but this is the last piece to your team, and we don't know what he has like futures, but I know Ty's never going to turn down an AJ Brown perspective deal, are you?
No, never, ever. And I mean, yeah, I'd love to get myself into an AJ Brown on this team, on really any team. But I mean, I even went, 109 Diggs. Can I turn that into Kamara in a future first? You know, just anything else where I can just rejig some of that value from the wide receiver room elsewhere, pocket some for a future deal. But I think the wide receiver and the picks give you flexibility. It sucks giving up the hammer in a 10 by 10, but I think you're still making out well with the package. Okay, we got hey, if you get in here, you got you got free reign on getting trades on your show, and some people are taking advantage of that. And our man Mapex MVP, we're gonna be chatting on this show. So good work. Trade number 1, gave up the 101 Mahomes and Diggs, received T. Higgins, Derrick Henry, Stroud, Dougie Mills. Wow, to 2-7, and it was 202 yo. I gotta say I don't know what that one. 202 yo.
Yeah.
Got a roster review from Manic and Chill pre-NFL draft. 12-team Superflex start 10, 1.5 tight end premium, 5-point passing touchdown. So gave 101 Mahomes and Diggs, received T. Higgins, Derrick Henry, Stroud, Davis Mills, 2-7, and 2020 yo. Shane, I don't know if 202 yo mixes in for you there, but how do you feel on this deal?
I'm sorry. So this is 12 by 10. I gave up Ashton Genty, Mahomes. I could give a half a crap about Diggs for T. Higgins, Derrick Henry, Stroud, Mills. I don't know who's Mills. Davis,
the guy with the long neck from like Davis Mills.
Yeah, Stroud's backup.
It's Davis Mills.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I don't like that. I like the Genty Mahomes side. Sure, Henry could be as good as Genty this year. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying it that way. All right. The value is not the same, even if it, you know what I mean? The production could be the same. And
well, let me stop you, Shane, because he actually re-entered this trade.
Oh, okay.
And here's actually the deal. The 207, he also got a 26 first and second added into the deal.
Okay. So now it's a little different. Okay. So now we gave the 101 in Mahomes and Diggs, and we got back T. Higgins and Henry, which is probably fair value for the 101, then Stroud, 2 seconds, and a first for Mahomes. I like that a lot more than the original version of this deal. So yeah, I like that first deal. Let's go to the second one.
Well, I was just cycling through the comments. I mean, he put here's what he said is his lineup now that he's done this deal. Or this was his lineup prior. Mahomes, Diggs, and was able to get rid of those guys. Mm-hmm. And so this was he said he had a roster review where we talked about splitting Mahomes. Listen, Mahomes and Stroud right now are not in the same tier, but if you're telling me I'm getting a first and second on top of Stroud, you can have Mahomes, and I'm still getting a quarterback again that is in that youth, has some upside. I was actually listening to a show the other day, and they were talking about this same track for a lot of young quarterbacks. They'll do great early on. Then they'll have this law where we basically anoint them that they were supposed to be elite, and then they're not. But they don't go away. You know what I mean? Like Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, they're kind of just entering that range now where they're like, it's just getting into their prime. And it feels like Stroud isn't even there yet. He could actually have another bad year and people would still be like, oh, wow. Ty, Stroud is quarterback 20 after this year. And it doesn't mean he's bad. It just means there's a dip, you know?
Yeah. It felt like all offseason, last offseason, it was like, this is probably the time to buy Herbert. He was in a bunch of deals and he was very attainable. And now you can feel that dynasty excitement starting up again for him. So, but yeah.
You're good, Mapex. You cleaned it up later, man. It's just my fault. I start all of them. I just saw all your questions. I was like, bro's got 38 questions. I got to get them all. I didn't realize you were cleaning them up. So
well, it was that 2020 No one knew what that was. But it was really just a 2021st or 26 first and second. So,
right. So what was that second deal he made? Because then he moved.
Second deal was this one.
Yes.
Gave Stroud a 26 first and a 27 first.
So we gave it all back for Josh
Adams and a 26 second. So I don't know how I feel all about this. This is one of those, like, I do this to myself sometimes, or I'll put the trade out on a spreadsheet and I'll go, this is what I gave. This is what I ended up with. Because right now I can't tell what it was. So I gave
well, here, he puts it in there, Shane. Here you go. This was his team before.
Right.
Mahomes, Hurts, Kamara, Tyreek, Diggs, McBride, Laporta, and then 6 of the first 13 picks.
Right.
And here's his team now.
Allen Hurts, Henry Kamara, T-Mac, T. Higgins, Adams, Tyreek, McBride, Laporta. Notable bench. He's got Judkins and Edbuka. Judkins is just hanging out on his bench.
So he made a lot of those picks, it looks like, right? He made the Judkins, Edbuka, Golden, Burden pick.
I mean, so for the net result of this, though, is we gave up a 27 first and Pat Mahomes to get to Josh Allen.
Pretty much.
Right.
We did give up that 101. I think the 101 would have probably shifted how I would have viewed my roster construction. But now we're looking at a team that's like, I have Judkins. He probably knew he was going to be able to get some running back value in this draft. So I don't need to have Genty. I'm going to get another shot at a Judkins or Harvey or whoever is there. And the beauty about this team is it's probably able to absorb Adams, Tyreek, Kamara, and Henry. 2 of those guys are probably done.
Yeah,
rather than later.
I don't want to just blow smoke up your ass because you're a member. So seriously, do this for me, Mapex. I don't know if you're in Discord or if you're on Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook, Mastodon, whatever. I'm everywhere pimping our stuff. If you could just take a couple minutes, just do on the left side, this is what I gave up and this is what I ended up with. You know what I mean? Like a literal, and let me look at it a little more. Because honestly, there's a lot to take in right now. I don't think I like it. I like it.
Interesting. Yeah. Hey, well, hit him up on LinkedIn, send him an edible arrangement, one way or the other. The information will get to Shane, but
also on LinkedIn. Check me out on
Shane posts all Instagram. Our content he posted on LinkedIn and on
I
Facebook.
Don't care. Everywhere.
I'm not sure we have a lot of fans on those platforms.
Doesn't matter. Anywhere I am, it goes.
I love it.
When we hit LinkedIn chat, that's when we move on. But no, thank you so much. Yeah, hit us up for sure if you have any other questions or further things. And happy to see the roster reviews. Make sure you get those roster reviews in. If you're not part of the community, hit that little. I'll get this out of the way here. If I can find the comment that's actually up here, bang! Hit that little QR code in the bottom right corner there. You get a part of the Dynasty the Discord community here and ddfantasyfootball.com. The Life of Liam brings the 10 team, start 9, 1 quarterback. So he's got JD5. That's a nice 1 quarterback to have. No, you don't think it's a good 1 quarterback to have? No. Okay.
I skipped all that and read the last part of this. Got offered Saquon Cup in a late 26 first for Genty. I would spit in your face. Not literally. You know what I mean? Metaphorically, I would spit in your face with that offer. So absolutely not. I'm sorry. You can finish reading it if you'd like to.
It's okay. Let's keep the spit in the mouth until we get to look. I love the Stephen A. Smith avatar there too. Genty, Hampton, Chase Brown, Caleb, AJB, Terry, Golden, Kelsey, Kraft, solid backup running backs. Yeah, Saquon, Cup, late 26 first for Genty. Scott, Shane is verbally and physically spitting on people. How do you feel on this deal?
Well, I mean, it's the 10x9 that gets you, right? It's a shallow league. It's a 1 QB league. When I see an offer like this, that you can read the intention of the manager sending it to you. He's going, okay, what turd can I throw into that deal to make it seem like you're getting more than you are? And he's probably looking at his lineup. Without knowing the team that sent this trade, probably looking at his lineup going, man, Cooper Kupp's my wide receiver 6. What do I do with him? Like they're trying to not give you probably another asset. If you put in a top 20 receiver or something into this deal, at least it is to the table with something I would consider. I still don't know if I would do it, but Kupp is just like, let me throw my trash on there to make it look like it's a little better than what it is, when really he almost now becomes a problem that I have to figure out what to do with. And so I'm less likely even engage in a back and forth with this manager. But Saquon in a first. Can you add another piece? If you can't, I don't have the motivation with where my roster appears to be to do that right now. I probably tanked for Genty or did something extreme to get that pick, and it's a golden asset. If he's good, he's worth 3x Saquon by midseason. So I'm not doing it. Not enough.
Yeah. I think there's a great reality where Saquon, Kupp, and whatever you can do with that first outscores Genty. But when we're talking like Dynasty Value, we're talking the shallow format. It's all about Genty here. Shane,
but also,
go ahead.
I mean, just do the mathematician stuff, right? So sure, could those 3 players outscore the one on my roster? Sure. But the other 2 players that I'd have on my roster, including Genty, are going to outscore the 3 that I would have if I make this deal. Most likely.
For sure. So Shane, let me ask you, if that was Saquon, Devontae Smith, and a late 26 first for Genty, are you taking that?
No, but it's fairer. It's more fair.
Okay.
More fair.
Saquon, T. Higgins, and a 26 first for Genty.
It's 10 by 9, man.
Okay.
It's 10 by 9. Considering that Golden's our wide receiver too, I probably would think about that one. That's one of those where, Ty, you've made deals with me where I might let it sit for a little bit, like a half an hour is a little bit for me, but whatever. I might let it sit for a little bit and just germinate in my brain and figure out what I want to do. I think I'd ultimately pass, but that would be a lot more appealing.
Yeah, Shane will put you on ice for 18 minutes and then come back to you just to see if he made you sweat a little bit. But yeah, anything else on this one, Scott? I mean, he's a little worried about accepting because it's likely a playoff first. There's probably a couple super teams at the top. Hesitant to sacrifice the future potential of Genty. Should you? Sounds like a no. And it's not even about, I guess, like the future potential. But yeah, like Scott said, right? There's a great reality where Genty in this shallow format's like 3x what Saquon is come midseason. So anything else in this one, Scott?
I actually think that changes it a little bit for me. If you're saying there's super teams, what I'm not doing is tearing off my super assets for assets that I'm actually less likely to be able to upgrade. Because I'm sitting here thinking, you said Devontae Smith or T. Higgins. If I sent you Saquon Barkley and Drake London for Genty, you'd go, I at least would think about that, right? And you should be able to get Drake London or Nico Collins for T. Higgins in a first, right? But if there's 3 super teams, guess what those super teams probably have? All the stuff you'd want to tier up to. So it might be harder to move with those teams or in this league because you have 3 super teams that you're chasing. At least here, you have one thing that all of them, I bet, are desperate to get, and it's Genty. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm not doing this. That's probably why he's feeling hesitant to accept, because he knows it now puts him in a position where he has to probably try to upgrade another asset because he just split one. And I'm guessing it's tough to do in this league. If you have 3 super teams, they're probably all holding on to all the hammers. Mm-hmm. And they're going, it just makes no sense for me to split my Malik neighbors. It just doesn't make any sense for me to even think about it, even if you give me 4 firsts.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that is the tough part. When all of those assets are actually consolidated, those deals you think you could pull off, it's a lot harder to do in reality. So your league is going to shape what you can actually pull off. And the more context we get, the closer we can actually get to probably the best answer for you. So way to add that in. And yeah, again, I'm not in a hurry to get off your Genty there. So good stuff. The life of Liam. Okay. Jackson Tribe hit us with a 12-team start, 12 super flex PPR. We got 3 wide receivers, 3 flex. It's a 1.0 tight end premium and a 0.5 first down for running backs. Team should rebuild. Scott spoke on this team on premium gas. The offer is below. Give up Kamara, Sam Darnold, David Njoku, and Cooper Kupp for 27 first, second, third, fourth, Hunter Henry, and Theo Johnson. So the entire 27 draft class, Theo Johnson, Hunter Henry, in a 1.0 tight end premium for Kamara, Sam Darnold, Njoku, and Cup. So this is the Cup poo-poo show. Scott said that you spoke on this team. Do you remember this one?
I do. It was a team that was, I think, a contending-ish roster, but like you look at the assets that he posted, I mean, for me, Hunter Henry and Theo Johnson pretty much just swap with one of the assets on the team you have now. They're all like, I need to probably find a niche buyer at the right time to sell some of this stuff. But that's still 2 free assets that I could see during the season somebody would be interested in buying. I don't know for what. Maybe it's a third, maybe it's 2/3, maybe it's a second if you hit the right week. But I'm getting them basically for free. And none of those assets, you guys would agree, are worth a 27 first by themselves. 2 PPR and Njoku. Okay, he probably takes that to buy from somebody, but I like this. You know why I like this? Because you've now taken your problems and put them on somebody else. They are betting their entire 27 team essentially on the players they're buying in June of 2025. So you're really kind of like going all in against them, and you have a safety net because you're rebuilding, or you're now shifting into a rebuild. This team, like, Shane, this is not how you want to blow your entire draft class on these players, because if you need these 4 players, your team's probably not in a great spot.
So 12 by 12, right? So the way they're looking at this, I know what I'm always the devil. So I know that they're doing, well, Kamara's a starter, Darnold's a starter, and Njoku's probably a starter, and Kupp's a starter. So this, and so is
Hunter Henry and Theo Johnson in a 2 PPR. In a start 12.
I will debate Theo Johnson. The
point is you're throwing those guys in, and that does matter in a 12 by 12. 12 by 10, it doesn't matter.
Hunter Henry, I guarantee you he's going to feel bad about giving up Hunter Henry when he was trying to, you know what I mean? Like, he clearly bought these players to compete, and then he just gave away Hunter Henry. Like, I know he's not sexy.
In a 2 PPR, is there would you handicap right now Hunter Henry to outscore Cooper Kupp? It's pretty close, isn't it? I mean, Cooper Kupp's got to have probably 80 for 900 at least to outscore Hunter Henry's scoring from the last 5 years in a row.
Hunter Henry might be faster than Cooper Kupp right now. Anyway, gave up Kamara, Darnold. Look, you won the deal. Obviously, you won the deal. I'm just saying, I understand what the other party was thinking. Now, these probably weren't. This wasn't the exact like what I would want back. I get it, because I've been trying to make some of these deals where I'm like, can I give up a first and get back 2 starters? Can I get 3 starters even? But I've never been able to bring myself to actually do something like this, but I understand the thought process behind why they did it. I might not like the actual outcome of it, but I get why they did it. It wasn't good in the end result, but I understand the thought process.
Kamara, Darnold, and Njoku, Kupp, they all feel like guys if you take over an orphan team, those are the guys you're trying to sell as soon as you take over the team. So if you can get someone's entire draft class, we don't have any projections on what we think 27 could be, because we don't project out that far. You can't really do that. But yeah, give me someone's entire 27 future, Hunter Henry, Theo Johnson in the format. Sure, I'll figure it out with them. I'll rebuild. I'll feel better about that. So sometimes there's a benefit in getting all the guys off your roster in one deal, if it makes sense. And if you can get an entire draft class, I get that could be it.
Yeah, it was an orphan team.
Can I ask you a quick strategy question on this type of deal, Ty? Mm-hmm. Doesn't it feel like a better deal would have been what can I get without giving up the first? Like, you might take 2 of these 4 players.
Yeah, can I get Njoku? Can I get Njoku and Kamara off of you for that? Yeah, I get it.
2 of the 4, and I'll give you my second, third, and fourth. Because I probably don't need all 4 of these guys, but I can probably use 2 of them, like Shane said. It's just, this is one of those moves where it's like, I can get the other manager to compete or to go in one direction completely the opposite of me. This is the dream bet if you're trying to gut a team. You're like, okay, I found that manager, I cleaned them out. I found that manager, I cleaned them out. I don't even care about my team at that point. I've now hurt 2 other teams pretty significantly, or at least made big bets against them, which seem to be in my favor.
Definitely. Yeah. And yeah, if there's ways that I can, if I'm the team that has these picks and I'm trying to get these veterans, I don't want to send my first in a deal like this to get these kind of speculative bets. Because guess what that does in your head when you move your future first? That starts your clock. You are on the hot seat. Your butt is getting toasty, right? We just traded away our first in this 14 team startup that we're in with y'all. And let me tell you, that means, hey, we have to have a roster right. We have to have a plan. And we have to think ahead. And now we don't have our first. And if anything goes wrong, how do we get our first back? Like, I don't want to create these problems for myself. So in a deal like this, yeah, like I don't want to send my first unless I'm getting into a certain asset because of the ramifications of trading away that flexibility.
Yeah, he said he put a message in the chat and said he's willing to sell old guys, and somebody sent him this offer. And that's probably what that person wants, to give up all those picks. It's probably either a yes or a no. There's not really much haggle to do in this deal, but good deal. Good
deal. Yeah. Jackson also said, we have too many big deals for the amount of characters we can send per box. That's a good sign. We're doing too much. That's fair. YouTube does keep us kind of strapped here. All right, Shane, are you buying or selling Daniel Jones or Aaron Rodgers? And if so, what prices?
Okay, first of all, it's too late to buy them. You should have bought them already. Daniel Jones was actually a guy since last year I was trying to buy because we knew this day was coming, right? We knew that Daniel Jones was going to get a starting role some point. Whether it was like for the season or for a few games, we knew that he was going to be starting games again in his future. That said, can I get a second and a third for these two guys? And I'm out. I don't know if you could get that for Aaron Rodgers. I think you could get it for Daniel Jones, but if I could get that, I'm out. But am I buying either? Excuse me. Not unless I'm paying a third. Like, I'm not going to give a second for either of these guys. I have both of these guys on several rosters, and like I said, anyone offers me a second and a third, I'm out. And I'll even try that. Just sending it out. Like, go find the A-Rich manager and see if he's got any other quarterbacks on his or her roster. And if they don't, send it to them. Like, hey, here's Daniel Jones. I'll give you DJ. You give me a second and a third, and I'll even throw in a fourth. Maybe we could make that work.
Like I say, in a perfect world, you've bought these guys before this news happened, right? I don't want to always be chasing my tail in that sense.
And I think it was you. It could have been you. It might not have been you. I don't know. It was in the chat, but someone keeps bringing up the point, like, we should probably be buying Kirk Cousins now, right? No, I mean, when he's his cheapest. Like, I don't. That's the next quarterback in that I could see us having the same conversation in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks about, like, oh, are you buying Kirk Cousins now because he ended up wherever? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it wasn't me talking up old Kirk Cousins, but that probably is the right thing. Is, again, I don't want to be just reacting to news and always trying to chase my tail there. Like, if I can get ahead of something, again, what were you buying Aaron Rodgers or Daniel Jones for before any of this news hit? A third? Like a third plus?
Last year, towards the end of the season, Roman Wilson.
Yeah, there's that Roman Wilson. That's how he gets on the show. But yeah, Scott, anything more on Aaron Jones or Aaron Rodgers or Daniel Jones?
I mean, I think they just fit in the category of, I'd buy Anthony Richardson too. If I'm buying any of these guys, they're in my lineup though. I see a lot of people go, "Ooh, I should buy Daniel Jones now. Oh, he would be my QB4." I'm not spending anything flexible on something I'm not using right away. That's why I'm interested in Richardson and Jones. They're both going to probably start games, but I want them in my lineup when they're starting games. And when they're no longer starting games, they become just a backup quarterback that I'll just retain on my roster. Now, is that worth a second? Is that worth 2/3? Like, you could debate, but this range of QB is very much a construction-based bet. I'm interested in backup quarterbacks, which technically Daniel Jones is, and technically Anthony Richardson is. When you're trying to trade for them, the manager is going to value them in the slot they want to sell them at, right? Oh, Richardson, he's the starter. That I need starter prices to get him. Oh, Jones, he's going to start. I need starter prices to get him. I'm just looking at it as like, I need to have a need to make the purchase, but I also have a roster, hopefully, that can just keep these guys once I get them. Like, I'm not really interested in selling for the profit unless I'm like Shane has. I have both and I don't need either one. Okay, they're gone. You can have them. Give me something that I can use to buy something else. Yeah. But they're not player bets at this point. Nobody's looking at Aaron Rodgers going, "Oh man, who would I rather have, Aaron Rodgers or Geno Smith? Like, you're not trying to analyze which one has a higher ceiling. You're like, they're both probably QB 18 to 30. They're not going to move the needle really one way or the other. So do I have a stack? Do I have something that makes me want one over the other? But I'm not like trying to go from this guy to Aaron Rodgers. You know, I'm not looking at Sam Darnold going, man, I think Daniel Jones has a higher ceiling. Let me make that pivot. Like they're both just replacement level QBs.
Yeah. They feel like those like half-used batteries you have in that little one drawer in your kitchen or in your basement. Right? And like, you're happy you have those ones when you run out of batteries, but you don't want to spend any money on those batteries. And you know, hey, if I can have enough collection of batteries in the drawer that I don't have to worry about it too much, but you know, just I don't want to have to put myself in a spot where I have to spend a second plus on guys in this range, right? Like let me construct it, let me figure it out for cheaper on waivers, and if I can't figure it out, okay, I guess I'll figure out another way to do something. But Scott, I'm gonna stay with you here. Sean W gave us another one here. 12-team Superflex start 10 PPR tight end premium. It's a 0.5 tight end premium lineup league. Send a late 26 first and 2 26 early seconds to get Mahomes. It says top 3 on the 26 seconds. Late first 2 26 is 12 by 10. This is Mahomes, yes?
Yeah, I think it's Mahomes. The only thing I would say is that I would do this, but then I would want to make sure that I have a backup plan for, do we just not have a QB2? Do we have Aaron Rodgers as our QB2? Like, okay, now I'm in a position where this is a smash accept deal. Where I'm probably not doing this, and this might be a hot take, but let's say I have a Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow quarterback room already. And the market for quarterbacks just really isn't there, right? Like, yes, this looks like a great deal on the surface, unless you're willing to go, okay, now I'm trading Joe Burrow or Jalen Hurts because I can move them in that league. That's where you have to have a plan if you accept this. We don't know any context about his team, though. So just on the surface, I'll just accept Mahomes and then look back at my team in a month and go, oh, yeah, I have Mahomes, my QB3. Good problem to have. So I'm just taking it on the value.
Yeah, he's got Josh Allen as his QB1. Absolutely no one that has a strong QB2, I would hope, would be dumb enough to send that offer out to get Mahomes if he's your QB3. It would just be nonsensical. So I'm going to assume that he definitely does not have a super strong QB like that. And that's a cheap Mahomes. Mahomes' price is really, really dipped. Like I said, a lot of us trashed him at the beginning of last year because he did have a solid year and a half where he was mediocre. He was a back-end QB1, and then guess what he did after that? He went nuts and was a high-end QB1 at the end of the season. So this is really cheap Mahomes. I'd love to get him for this price.
Yeah. Mahomes, pretty good at football, so you know, good for him. But yeah, is the elite fantasy football Mahomes showing up this year or not? Who knows? For that price, I'll wait to see. All right, here we go. We got a couple of banners. We're gonna get to those in a sec, but Jackson Tribe, one more, same league as the one mentioned above. So what's that? No, not that one.
That was his rebuild where he just gutted everything for the firsts, yes, or the 27s.
Perfect. Yes. So Hollywood Brown and Juwan Jennings for a 26 second and a 27 second. Shane, I like Juwan Jennings, man. I do. Hollywood Brown.
I'm rebuilding, right? Well,
yeah.
These dudes hold absolutely no value to me on my roster. This is peak. This is like peak in season. Juwan Jennings just scored 55 points or whatever he did last year to get on everyone's radar what you're cashing out at. And Hollywood Brown, I've loved Hollywood Brown since, I don't know, I was like 3 years old. And he's done nothing but disappoint me. So if I could get anything resembling a second for him, yeah, he's gone. This is great. This is great. This is literally everyone is acquiescing in your league. You're going, hey, I'm trying to rebuild. And they're like, well, guess what? Today's your lucky day. We're going to overpay for Hollywood Brown and Juwan Jennings.
It's like that scene in Spider-Man where they're pushing him on top of him when he's on the bus. Like, let the hero come through. Let us bring this rebuild to you, buddy. Scott, anything on this one?
No, I mean, when I see here's what I love is that all it took is him putting a message in the chat of like, I have a bunch of stuff available and I'm motivated to trade it. There's something intriguing about a sale, a garage sale where the price is right there. And all I have to do is pull out my wallet and pay the price. Even if I don't love it, the fact that it's mine, as soon as I see the price, people like that. And this league is just there. If I saw this going on in one of my leagues, you know what I do? I offer 2/3 for these players and see how desperate you are. You know what I mean? But you're getting right to the buy it now price. There is no haggling. There's no bidding. It's just exactly what you want. I mean, if only you could do this in every league when you wanted to just have a garage sale and clean out your roster and just get picks.
Dude, this is all those basic bitch podcasts, fantasy football ones where there's really no strategy and they don't know what they're talking about. So, like 80% of them that play in bullshit leagues, where they go, oh, we'll just sell that guy for a second. And we're like, bro, no one's doing that. Well, guess what? They are here. So this is why those podcasts get to continue on, because they can point to this one trade that happened that one time.
But Ty, you gotta say it in the chat. You have to be willing to part with everybody. You can't sit there and go, oh man, Juwan Jennings he's wide receiver 33 on Underdog now. He is a round higher than Pearsall and Brandon Ayuk on Underdog. He is being steamed up by a lot of big names as he is the number one option on the Niners. Now, whether he is or not, there's a lot of people that would go, man, he's getting a lot of steam. I'm not selling him for a 27-second because I think I can get more. I deserve more. When really your objective is just to get rid of him. It's a bad profile player to bet at this point in his career, and you're getting a second. A lot of people would go, ooh, he's getting some steam. I'm going to need a second and a third. And then that blows up the whole deal. And now you don't get any picks, and you ride these guys into the season, and you may never get anything for them. So I think you just got to communicate, right? You just got to say, this is what I want to do. Help me. And they either will or won't. At least you know.
I mean, it's good, though, that you have to know, again, what's probable and what's possible are not the same thing. Is it possible Juwan Jennings could be worth more than a second one day? Sure. Is it probable? Absolutely not.
Yeah. Scott, you said it multiple times. Sometimes you got to be the one that put the deals in inboxes if you want these deals to appear in your life. Or like this, you got to put the message out in your league. I know you, Scott, are the master of the AI message in the league chat, just to try to spark up some kind of conversation or interest in your guys. But you got to put the legwork in, man. And if you do, you can get deals like this. So I want to give some sweatpants in the chat here for old Jackson Tribe. Okay, he's making some big deals here in his orphan, the rebuild. Maybe it's not going to take as long as you think with some deals like this. So, but one more thing, man, on those guys, Hollywood Brown, Jennings, that's just adding potential points to your roster week over week. You don't want those guys. So I'm not going to let my bias of, well, maybe I can get more if everything goes right, hold me up from actually getting something done. So good work. If y'all get any more deals, put them in there. We got a couple more minutes here, but we're going to hit some banners that we had saved. Anthony West 7423 hit us up in the prologue episode of Dynasty Deal Show. 12-team start 11, Superflex, PPR, 0.5 tight end premium. We got Caleb, T-Law, Jackson Dart, Ashton Genty, Hampton, Hendo, Harvey, all the rookie running backs, Caleb Johnson, JSN, Rashee Rice, Hunter, Ibuka, Odunze, Bowers, and McBride, the power combo. All your future picks. Even up McBride in a 26-second, you get Pitts, a late 26 first, and a late 27 first. So if I'm reading that right, Shane, I'm sending McBride in a second to a contender that my team's clearly a young contender. I'm probably feeling pretty good. Am I going to give him the positional advantage for some late first? How do you feel there in a 1.5 tight end premium league, 12-team start 11?
I wish I had the scoring in front of me. 1.5. Let's see. He was probably scored, 15 points per game? 14 points per game? 16 points per game?
Yeah,
probably more. Yeah,
16.
Tight end 2, tight end 3, depending on the scoring. But I mean, it's one of those where, like, what's your assessment of this roster, Shane? Because this is a young roster. We got a lot of rookies. I mean, I'm reading 7 rookies on this page right now. I mean,
yeah, we've got a lot tied up into this running back class, which, look, I love this running back class, so I get it. Genty, Hampton, Hendo, Harvey, K. Johnson.
The entire running back class.
Literally.
All the infinity.
Except for Judkins, we have all of them.
5. Yeah, he's got 5 of the top 6. Bowers, yeah, McBride. I got to be honest with you, though. I'm probably starting McBride, right? Maybe. Let me do math. I hate when I have to count because I know I always get it wrong. But let's see here. We've got 2 quarterbacks at all times, right? 5 running backs. That's 7. If I did 2 tight ends, that's 9. That leaves me 2 starters. I'm sure that the wide receivers is probably more than 2 starters. JSN and Rashee Rice. I don't know. I think I might make this deal, to be honest with you. It's start 11, and it does give me some flexibility to make other moves. And I also don't think Trey McBride is going to see a 35% target share for the rest of his days. I can't imagine that's going to happen. He's not, I don't want to say he's not talented. I don't want to make it sound like that, but he's not Rob Gronkowski. You know what I mean? He is definitely a target vacuum right now. I can't see that continuing. And that's what he needs to be an elite tight end. And obviously volume helps everyone, but this dude needs like hyper targeting to be like 35%, 40% target shares to be in that range. And I just can't see that going forward. So I actually think I'll go to make the deal.
Scott, does having Bowers make you feel any differently when you approach a deal like this? And why don't you want Pitts back in this deal?
This is a fascinating deal. I mean, I'm glad we were able to talk about this one on the stream because, first of all, I'm not banking this team contending. You're not going to start 7 rookies and win. You're just probably not. Even if a couple of those guys are really good, it's unlikely. But this is also a fun team where it's like, I kind of want to start 7 rookies and see what happens. And getting 2 extra firsts in the bag kind of helps me see what happens with those rookies. And if I want to make a move, I can. Thing about Pitts is like, Pitts is the kind of guy, if you're going to get him back in the trade, you got to start him. But I'd rather not get him back in this deal because I already have Bowers. The one thing that holds me up, Ty, and I'm curious your thoughts on this. It's a 1.5. We know tight end has very minimal impact. Mm-hmm. This is something that, for those that are still in here, we're working right now to get the War Tool updated. This is one thing that I hope to be able to display more accurately on the War Tool. What is the impact of my league when you remove Bowers and McBride from the rest of the league's tight end landscape? And how should they behave based on that? Because I currently hold that advantage that is not monetized or shown anywhere in a trade calculator, in Dynasty Daddy, or anything, right? Like, every economy is its own. But picture like a really small town that has like 2 businesses and half the town works there, right? And then both those businesses just shut down overnight. Like, there's a lot of things that could probably come to that town, but like, it crippled the town in the short term because there's nothing else going on. That's kind of what you having McBride and Bowers does with this league. Like, it's a chip that nobody else can get or replicate. So breaking that up has, I think, some detrimental value in this trade that's not being accounted for what you're getting paid for. So I know that's a long-winded way of saying I probably need a different piece than Kyle Pitts to do this deal, because now I'm shifting to a 1 tight end. I have the hammer and Bowers. I don't really want to roster another tight end because I'd rather probably flex something else or get something else more flexible. Can you give me 2 seconds instead of Pitts? I think I do it. In a start 11, if I can get 2 firsts and 2 seconds, you can have McBride, and I'll bet against, not being able to make more moves later. What do you think, Ty? Because this is an economy-changing trade when you're letting one of these tight ends go that's not being reflected in that trade calculator.
We must have talked about this like 2 or 3 off seasons ago. And like, I think in one of my leagues, I was like, I have a tight end, but I also have this Goddard on my bench. And that was back when, Goddard was, really, we were hyped on Goddard. It was like, what does trading away one of those tight ends do when having him on my team keeps him away from my other 11 teammates? And like you said, right, if the shops close up, what happens to the rest of the league? I've been on the other side of that where I've seen someone have a Bowers and McBride, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm in the same boat as 11 other people. We're not going to beat him there, but maybe, we can all figure something else out. And I'm not the one that's going to try and chase the tight end after that. But if I can find a way into a cheap, a veteran bet like a Kittle, maybe I can at least lessen that and dampen that. But me, I've been blessed. I have a lot of Bowers, a lot of McBrides, and a lot of Bowers with McBrides. And on those teams, man, it's really hard to come up with a price that I would move them for, just because of what you said, Scott. Is I'm playing keep away, and no one can really touch that until further notice. Like, Shane, if your prediction comes true and, the target share is not there, Marv takes up Maybe Michael Wilson really turns into a dope wide receiver 3, right? Some things could change for McBride, but I think those two guys get used so differently than anything else we see at tight end. And if I can have both of them, I think that changes what the rest of my league mates can do. And I like that when I can change people. Yeah. You have to pay to break up my advantage. Absolutely, Josh. Yeah. Anything else on this one, Shane?
I mean, I already moved him. Like, you guys were still talking about it. I had already moved him, and I was starting to make other deals actually in that league. I had already sent out 3 other offers using that.
What can Shane get for Pitts in a first? He's already sent out 5 offers since that trade's been accepted.
Can I add a second to Pitts and get Dallas Goedert? I don't even need to do that probably. Can I add a third to Pitts and go get Dallas Goedert? What does it take to get Njoku on this roster? There you go.
We got one more in us, guys?
Yeah.
Yep, we got one more.
All right, let's hit this one. Winky 72, 12 team, start 11, super flex. Get Jaden Daniels. I assume Jaden Daniels. 204 and 112. Give up Neighbors, my Canadian boy Chase Brown, 28 and 110. Okay, Scott Daniels 112, 24. Where Neighbors, Chase Brown 110, 28. Yeah, Scott, I'll let you talk on this one. If I don't have my quarterback set, I'm going to have a hard time turning down Daniels here, personally.
Yeah, he does say Caleb Williams is his QB1, so he is moving Daniels ahead of Caleb in this trade. Honestly, 208 and 110 kind of washes for 204 and 112 to me. I'm moving back in the first 2 spots. I'm moving up in the second 4 spots. I might even take the 112 and 204, given the unpredictability of the first compared to the second may push me into a tier where I can do a lot more with the 204 with some positional leverage than the 208. So you can wash those. It's basically Neighbors and Chase Brown for Daniels. I'm taking Daniels, but I also have a couple teams. I'm thinking of one right now where I have Kyler, Daniels, and Lamar. Like, this is the type of deal. If I have that roster, I could squint and say, this is the best I'm going to get. One thing you're going to hear us talk about on this show going forward is a lot of times the context that we ask for in these deals are, what am I trying to do? And is this the best deal I'm ever going to get? In that given league, I've tried to move a QB. It's a 14-teamer. I've tried to move Lamar for Justin Jefferson. You know what I mean? I've tried to make the move that gets me out of the quarterback pickle that I'm in. But if I don't have a quarterback pickle, I'm not giving up Jaden Daniels for Malik Neighbors and Chase Brown. So this is easily Daniels. Worry about receiver and running back later. You're going to feel real good with Daniels and Caleb going forward compared to just having one Caleb Williams. So smash it, Winky. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shane, I'll give you this, and then you can kind of take us into the abyss here. But I do like the idea of being able to play a little different at quarterback, right? And especially in a startup, if I can wait on taking that quarterback and I can get some great positional difference makers, I think there's other ways that I can play quarterback. But when you're talking Jaden Daniels, there's just something different about guys that can give you that kind of production and that kind of dynasty price.
Generally, I don't know. I think we're overthinking this shit. Just give me Daniels. I mean, I'm getting Daniels in the 112. Sometimes it's not rocket science. It's really not. It's just not. I mean, look, I love Neighbors. I do. The Neighbors, if Daniels is off the board, and we're at 105, 106, 107, 108. And I'm like, I'm not taking a quarterback because I wouldn't. I'll take Neighbors, absolutely. But guess what? That's when Daniels is off the board because I didn't have the 102. You know what I mean? And I wasn't able to trade back and get a future first for moving down 4 spots, something like that. So, yeah, I'm just going to take Daniels. I love Neighbors, but no, I'm good. I'm good.
Perfect. Speaking of good, this is a good show. We got the first one in the books, a Dynasty Deal Show. Good work, guys. Scott, I know you wanted to give some shout outs to everyone here that contributed and anything else. So I'll kick it over to you. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, what do you have to say here? Final thoughts.
Yeah, thank all the members that have joined in the first week since launching this. We're excited to get it going every Friday night. Shout outs tonight, Bartolo's, Spastic Cologne, Roy Gasson, Tanner Hollendorf, Mark Orgent, Mapex MVP, I believe is how you would say it. The Life of Liam, Jackson Tribe, Sean W, and Winky72 for the questions. Keep them coming. We're going to set the streams up every Friday morning. The members will get an alert you have any feedback, most of you are in the Discord or can interact with us somewhere. Like, let us know if there's any problems. But the idea is we set it up Friday morning. People start dropping their trades in so that we have some good trades to go over when we get here Friday night. So you'll have all day to literally go to your inventory of teams, go to the ones you have hanging out there. You're thinking about proposing, type them in the chat. I mean, that's one of the benefits. You can ask 3, 4, 5 questions in a night. We'll try to get to as many as we can. We got to cut them off at some point. I imagine we'll get to a point where it's like we have 3 or 4 coming in after 10 o'clock. But yeah, I mean, the more the merrier. So just appreciate everybody being here the first night. Ty, great job hosting. I'll kick it back to you, but thank you to everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Good problem to have if we have too many trades to talk about. So I do appreciate everyone coming out. We're gonna keep doing this every damn week. If you're watching this back and you're just hopped in here, hey, good to be a member. If not, you get this, later on. You can't chat with us, but come join. Put some sweatpants in the chat. Have a great rest of your Friday, and we out of this thing. Peace.